Oh my goodness. Hey guys.
Hi.
Welcome to the couch.
We had a little technical difficulty, so hence why you saw Aleesha go, yeah!
Yeah, we couldn't see anything. We're good now. Apparently we needed an update. So, hi Liz.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. It's been a long time. It's been not that long, but
It's been 3 weeks.
It's been a busy 3 weeks. Let's go with that.
It really has been. A couple people died, and we got to go to some memorials.
Yes.
Yours was more of like a get-together, like a potluck.
Yeah, mine was more of a celebration of life. No.
There's no dead people there.
Yeah, no dead people. No.
Those are the kind I like to go to.
No service, which is also nice.
Yeah.
Since I'm not religious.
Yeah.
So it was it was a get together, and I didn't know very many people there.
Me neither. So we got together.
Yeah.
So that she didn't have to go by herself.
Aleesha came because she knows my brother-in-law.
I do.
We all went to college together.
We all graduated from engineering together.
Yeah, and so it was my brother-in-law's father. Mm-hmm. And so I went family support, and Aleesha and I hung out in a knit room and knit. I knit, she talked. And we talked.
Yeah, we talked.
So it was nice. It was just, sometimes it's just important to be there.
Yeah, and your sister didn't come out, so...
She couldn't come out because she had other obligations, and then they have
two kind of representing your family.
They have two little ones, so it's kind of hard to travel with them, and, having to explain the whole grandpa passed away thing. I understand why.
They're kind of young for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally get it. But yeah, and I went down to California. That was 3 days in a car.
You got a lot of knitting done, though.
Got a lot of knitting done. I didn't realize how much knitting I needed to take with me, so I ran out of knitting. But
blasphemy!
I know. I sat in a car and did nothing. Who does that? So yeah, it was good. But we had hardcore history going on for hours. We listened to 5 of his lectures, and most of them are 3 hours long minimum.
They're pretty long.
So you can imagine how much time I spent in a car if I could get through 5 of them. Oh, it was intense. And then near the end, they were talking about trench living. I was like, and I'm gonna go listen to some music because I don't need to hear about latrines or the lack thereof. So, just not talk about helmets. We're just gonna skip right over that. But shortly after they talked about that experience, they talked about the first introduction of tanks, and I didn't know it was in World War I. And tanks were built so that you could cross over the trenches, right? So before
they built trenches.
You have trenches, and you can't go out of them, right? Until you're stuck in them. So tanks changed the face of trench warfare, which was very interesting to me because I'm a nerd in that kind of vernacular. It has to do with something made of metal. I'm in. Just tell me all about it. So yeah, that was very interesting. And apparently it was the first tank was enormous because I was thinking it was one of those little ones that were used in World War II, and I'm thinking that would never span a trench that's 5 feet wide or 7 feet wide or whatever width it is. Knowing they're on tracks, they're treads, right? But yeah, it boggled my mind. So that was cool. And then, of course, we were pausing the whole time because it's my dad and my uncle, both military guys, so they wanted to put in their 2 cents. Their 2 cents about everything. Oh, and you know what's about to happen. You know what happened here, and you know how this is linked. Oh, it was good.
Because they're history buffs as well.
Huge history buffs. So
especially military.
Yeah, and so we came home, and immediately they wrote to their older brother, because my dad has 5 brothers. So they wrote to the oldest brother saying, oh my gosh, we had such an awesome time, and have you heard of hardcore history? You guys gotta check them out. So yes, so if you're looking for a historical podcast, I can definitely recommend Hardcore History. Now, I can't listen to it with my dog around, so I can't do it and knit, because Molly gets really anxious with the narrator's voice. It can get quite intense. So, just a warning, the guy can get super intense.
He gets excited.
He's very into it, and it's awesome. He's just telling a story, telling the truth, has all this historical facts on his side, and he must read 50 books before he puts out a podcast. And he's always citing them during his lectures. he puts some time and effort into it. So if you are into history and you haven't found Hardcore History by Dan Carlin, check it out. So anyway, that got a lot of knitting done. Are you wearing any knitting today?
No, I'm being lazy.
Have I introduced myself? Hi, I'm AK-47, also known as Aleesha.
I'm Liz, also known as Lizzie215 on Ravelry.
And this is Loopin' About. This is a podcast about knitting, and we haven't talked about knitting yet, so let's do it.
Yes. You have lots of FOs.
I have a lot. I have so many. I think I have 7 that I have to have a list that I'm going to reference. So the first thing I'm wearing something I just finished a couple days ago, actually. And Sean has already claimed it for his own. So this is the Ridgeline Cowl. And that is by Alice O'Reilly. Now, I've made some modifications. You know
really?
me.
You did?
You know me, guys. There's some modifications in here. So this was for the main challenge of this month.
Yes, you're already done for the she's talking about the
Head of House
Harry Potter knit along.
Yes, so we're participating in another long that's 3 months long. This is the 3rd month. And this was my last skeins of O-loops. So I was trying so hard. Even Liz is like, oh, here's a list of things about
I even gave her yarn if she, in case she
which I'm returning.
She returned.
So that I could still do O-loops. But she's like, I have to either use Ravenclaw colors, which is blue and gold, or blue and silver. One's the book, one's the movie, right? Ravenclaw got changed so that it could be dramatically displayed better, I guess. Well, I didn't have Ravenclaw colors, and I didn't even have, a colorway that was anything to do with Harry Potter. So this is O-loops yarn. The black and the blue came in a set. They were 50 grams of each, and it was called Drive All Night. And I love, do you see the speckles in that variegated? There's a pop of like a teal or an aqua in there that just slays me every time. So you were supposed to have 7 welts. This is a free pattern, by the way. Go check it out. I saw somebody else finish this on another podcast, and it was the Yarn Hoarder. She did hers in like a gray, and then each of the welts was a different color in a rainbow. And I thought, ooh, that's cool. So I've never done welts before. And I decided to reduce the welts to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that it could pertain to the main challenge. So the main challenge was your head of house, which was mine, Phileas Flitwick, which I didn't know much about. But he is the choir director, the choir master, if you're going by what the book says, starting in 1993. So this is kind of a big deal. So I decided to use the 5 lines that are used in musical.
When you write?
Yeah, when you write music, the notes all fall into the staff or the stave. So this is the 5 parallel lines.
Very cool.
And I've already gotten credit for it, so it worked.
Good.
So thank you, Liz, for reminding me that he was the choir director.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would have made that jump into the 5 things and the welt, so good job making it work.
I had the hardest time finding something to knit. The hardest time. But I was super stoked when I was drying it upstairs. Sean's like, who's that for? Like he wanted it, right? And I was like, well, I mean, nobody in particular. I was just going to do it for Christmas. So he wears it as a hood. Yeah. Maybe I can tilt this up a little bit. He wears it as a hood. It doesn't quite finish in the back, but he wears hooded sweatshirts all the time, so he just wears it under his hooded sweatshirt.
Yeah,
so it'll
that's
be warmer in the wintertime. So, stoke. Done. The second thing is somewhere. We're making hearts for somebody in the Ravelry group. Not our Ravelry group. The Ravelry group for our knit-along. And so I knit some hope and love into this Gnome is Where the Heart Is. And this is by Susan Claudino. And actually, it's the gnomes that sell this pattern, but it turns out there's a heart in that pattern as well. So you get instructions to make 3 different gnomes, a grandpa gnome, a boy, and a girl, and then also this heart. So I made this out of sport weight. This is also O-loops, and that was in Cutie Pie. I used it on the hurricane hat or the tornado hat that I made a couple months ago, and I still had leftovers, and I thought, well, she's in our O-loops group, so I'm sure she would appreciate some O-loops yarn in there. So I got that done. I said that was Susan Claudino, right?
Yes.
She's brilliant. The next thing I finished, this was from the road, were these siren mitts. So these are called siren sleeves, and this is the short version. You can make it go like up to your elbow as well. And I'm thinking of taking out this garter ridge at the bottom and extending them because I don't have enough yarn in that ball to make 2 sets of mitts. So I could make a third mitt just in case you lose one. I don't know. It's still up in the air. I haven't decided. But as of right now, it's the short version of it. Now, I made some modifications, mostly because I started off with the Sita mitts by Maria Scheherazade, and I've decided she must have a really loose gauge. I didn't look at the gauge because I'm making fingerless mitts. Like, who makes a gauge swatch for this? Probably smart people. I'm not part of those smart people. So I went to try them on, like, before I put the thumb gusset in, and I could get it to here. I thought, that's not gonna work. So I took those out, and then I cast on these. Now, I had a really hard time with the Sita mitts, and one, it might have been because they were on US 2s, and this is a very thick and thin kind of yarn. This is dyed in the wool, and I think it's Egg Payback is the colorway. I think I'm right on that. They dye it in the wool and then they spin it, so it's like a hand spun yarn, and it's very thick and thin. It's rough when you're knitting it. It doesn't feel rough now that I've washed it. So I was just struggling. I was fighting against the yarn the whole time, and then on top of that, it didn't fit. So finally, I was like, okay, I'm gonna treat these as DK, and I'm gonna go look for a pattern that would suit the yarn better. Now these are on US 4s. I think the pattern calls for US 6. It's a free pattern. Did I mention that? Siren sleeves. And then I went down to US 4 because these are sport, and that was a DK pattern. So I thought, oh, I'll just go down to US 4. And then I cast on what they called for on a US 6. And then about 8 rows in, I decreased it 4 stitches because it was really big. So then I made that change. I've changed a lot of things. I modified. Hi guys, I modified a pattern. Just wanted you to know. I'm really happy with it. So it starts and ends on garter stitch. Super easy. The rest of it's stockinette. And then you have a stockinette thumb that's just gonna roll as it ages, right? Because stockinette needs something to pin it down, and there's nothing to pin those stitches down on the thumb. Super easy pattern, super quick. I did this in a day in the car, one of them, and then the second one the next day. Super quick. If you're looking for a project right now to do for Christmas, go find some DK and do a siren sleeve. Really enjoyed that pattern. Speaking of fingerless mitts, I've got a second one up here. So this is Gia by Maria Scheherazade. So even though I didn't like her Sita mitts, I decided, oh man, I really like her aesthetic. I'm going to try another one because I didn't want to go back to the Sita. And these are called Gia or Gia. Now they're supposed to be completely reverse stockinette. So I modified it, guys. And I also added 4 stitches to the pattern, and I went up in needle size. So this is supposed to be on a US 2. I did them on a US 3. And they used nothing. I think they used like 20 grams of yarn, 100 yards of a fingering weight. So they flew, guys. So this was done. Each one was done in a day. Very exciting. And these are more recent. Did these recently. Yeah, those are the Gia mitts. I've already put them in for a challenge for December. Yay. I've decided, one of the challenges is for Hogsmeade. Is that the location?
Yes, Hogsmeade.
Yeah. Hogsmeade. And so it has all these shops. So anything that you could put towards shops or people that went there and did stuff, if you have their colorway in O-loops, that could count, or anybody's colorway, really. that associated somebody who's known for the Hogsmeade part of the whole deal. So I decided that this was wizard wear. So it was
leave your fingers free for holding
Yeah,
your wand.
exactly. So glad rags or whatever it was called. This qualified for that, and you can use your explanations more than once. So my next mitts that you'll see later are also going in there. Okay. There's more FOs. So I finished a hat, and this is Set Vel, maybe.
That looks really big.
It's enormous. I'm not keeping it.
You need to find someone with a big head for that.
So I did some modifications, guys, because I really wanted this to be a beret. If you watched the last episode that happened so long ago, I was really rooting for a beret. So I learned after all of this that a beret is supposed to lose 50% of its stitches between the brim and the hat. Right now, I'm only at about a third,
about 25,
maybe a third. So,
it's a slouchy hat.
it's supposed to be a slouchy hat, so I changed it, and I put this ribbing in after the decreases. Well, I'm going to have to decrease more because it's quite large still. And it's, I don't know, guys. I don't know how this works. I want it to be a beret. It's weird. So it's kind of a beret. I don't know, I could pretend.
You could wear it.
So it turns out you're supposed to block a beret on a cake stand.
On a kickstand?
No, not a luncheon plate, not a normal plate, but a stand that holds a cake. You know that, like,
oh, a cake stand. Oh, I heard
has like a
cake
pedestal.
Stand. I heard cake
And it has
stand.
a
yes,
big
cake
thing.
Stand.
Cake stand. I did not do that. I tried it over a normal plate. Well, I tried a luncheon plate and it disappeared. I'm like, well, that's not gonna help. So I put it on a big plate, and it looked like the Space Needle. It's like, this isn't good. Like, I had it on the plate, and I put a cup under it so that it was above. It was still touching the ground. Like, there's just so much material here. So I have been told that I probably want to decrease some more because, as I said, I didn't decrease 50% of my stitches. But I just don't know. I don't think I'm a beret girl. Sean thinks it's adorable, but I don't think I'm a beret girl. I love the yarn, so I'm probably going to do another woolly wormhead hat with this yarn. And this was Miss Fisher's pearl-handled pistol from One Twisted Tree. I'm telling you guys, I have to make a list to tell you what all these things are. I didn't do the yarn. I only did the person and the pattern. So now I'm trying to remember the yarn. Great pattern. If you like slouchy, this is such an awesome slouchy hat. I did the extra large or whatever the biggest one was because I've made one hat of hers in the past, and it was the extra large that I liked for my head. I did not need to do the extra large for this one. I would have been fine with the small, I think. And then it would be more like beadie style. Notice that I haven't tucked in that. Well, I did tuck in the end. I haven't cut it because I think I'm pulling this out. I'm going to put it on the yarn ball winder and just let it go. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay, one more finished object. This was my DVD, my Desert Vista Dye Works for last month.
Colorway.
This colorway is beautiful. So this is Baby Beluga. Has a
I remember
gray,
when you bought it.
right? And you're like, pastels. You're not a pastel girl.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not.
that's it.
Oh, it's so beautiful. So I repeated the pattern that only shows up on the front side of the pattern design. I repeated it on the back.
What socks are these?
This is the Herbology socks.
Oh, the Herbology socks. Oh, yeah.
By Nina Phillips. Now, this was done specifically for the Oloops group for this Harry patterned along. So it is not available till January, but that's only a few weeks away, guys.
Yes.
Do you believe me when I say that? I can't believe it's going to be 2018. I need to set some goals. I need to see if I did any of the goals that I set up this year. I don't even remember what I said I wanted to do. But this is number 8 that I've done this year on Desert Vista Dye Works, and I'm super thrilled. Next year, I think I'm only going to do 6 months, but it's not going to be the first 6 months, and it's not going to be the second 6 months. It's going to be right smack dab in the middle. Because we never get a coupon for June. Oh, yeah. So I want a coupon at June, because if you did the first 6 months, you get a free skein at June. You don't get a coupon for June. So I want it to line up so that I have a coupon at June, so I can buy some yarns that I'm not able to, because at that point I'm buying them full price. And I just haven't bought them full price in June. Anyway, that was a side tangent. But another FO, another sock. Word to the wise, I have no sock yet on the needles. So I need to get my butt in gear if I'm going to do one more for this year. I have a hoe.
You have a hoe?
I have foes and hoes and everything in the middle. Hold on, it's on the table. Do you have any FOs this time?
I got one Hexy Pop!
Let's talk about your Hexy Pop. Oh, these look like, that's from ZK20.
Yeah, this is a Frankenstein Hexy Pop, so...
And that one is too, and
yeah.
they're showing up on screen because I know what they are. But I don't know this magenta. Is that from your socks?
Yeah, that's from my socks. that's a Zitron XXL.
Gosh.
Yeah, so this is a Franken Hexy because I was just killing some time.
Do you know what number? Are you at 80?
I don't know what number I'm at. I'll have the number for next time. But yeah, that's my one finished object. Like I said, it's been a very hectic past couple weeks. No, and that's true. Actually,
And that's your thesis.
I have this scarf. I saw my friend and I got it back, and I'm like, I need to borrow it back. I'll give it back to you next time I see you.
So it looks like your blocking didn't make it stay down.
No, only sections of it stay down. I probably could have used a wider, like, garter stitch edge.
See that? Isn't that
But
gorgeous?
what does he care? He's going to end up wrapping it anyways, so the edges wouldn't be down anyway. So I'm not worried about it.
And this is?
This is O-Loops. I believe the colorway is Dumbledore.
We're calling it Dumbledore.
Even though it wasn't. I bought O-Loops. I bought a shawl kit when we went to VK Live.
For the Ohm shawl.
Yeah, for the Ohm shawl. But none of the colorways were listed. So going through one night, it kind of looks like Dumbledore, so I'm calling it Dumbledore.
It's gray.
It's gray.
It's beautiful.
And this is her figure 8 yarn, her worsted. Yeah. So this flew off the needles, and thank you, Annetta, for the suggestion of using the antler pattern from the Tin Can Knits. It worked beautifully. It makes a beautiful cable down the center. So that was really nice. And even better, it was a pattern I already had.
Yeah, exactly. Knitting from her library, guys.
Knitting from my library.
I'm sure that was on our goals from last year.
It was a attempt. So yeah, those are my 2 finished objects.
Yep, she got thesis work done.
Yes, I did.
That was last month's main challenge.
Yes.
So she's going for Seeker, guys. We're both still going for Seeker.
Well, you already reached
I'm
Seeker.
done. So here is my hoe for this week. I have some markers in there because I'm trying to match my second one. This is the Chevron Mitts. And this is by Heidi Golly. And it turns out she's from Port Townsend. I messaged her because...
She is?
Yeah. I was like, hey, I'm from Whitby. I went to Port Townsend all the time growing up. And she's like, yeah, I go to Whitby all the time. So there's a ferry that connects Port Townsend to Whitby Island. So I grew up in Oak Harbor and would go on the ferries all the time. And Port Townsend is the cutest little town. We've talked about it before.
Yes.
So cute. Love it. Anyway, so we got to talking because I went to cast these on, and I went to the pattern page and realized, hey, the pattern's not here anymore. And it says it's coming back, but it's being revised. Well, it turns out she's doing her own hand spun and she's selling it. And I can't think of what name she's doing that under, but I am hoping that I posted it below me saying Heidi Golly is doing her yarn. So she's making all her patterns in her hand spun and then putting them up again. Well, I asked her if I could talk about it on my podcast, and she said, well, since you're knitting them for the podcast, I'll just make this one available. So if your viewers want to knit these for Christmas, it'll be available. Super quick. It is 2 lines of code. You have your increase row and you have your decrease row. And it is fantastic. And I believe it's a free pattern still. Also there. I have to check. I'll double check before this goes live. But yeah, Chevron mitts. And I messed up. when you drop these off, you're supposed to bind them off, and I forgot to. Like, it was an inch past there when I realized, ooh, I was supposed to bind those stitches off. Oops. So I will post a picture here of what it's supposed to look like, and then I'll show you what I did. I added about 5 rows of knitting, and I went in pattern. So hers does the increases right on the edge of your thumb. It is super cool. I've never done thumb gusset increases there before, and I really love it because it definitely goes with the rest of the motif, right? So cool. Love it. No mods besides me forgetting to knock those off. So what? I did this without changing anything. Yay me. So I totally love this pattern.
Follow a pattern.
This is the 3rd set of mitts I've made in this pattern. So I must love it some kind of crazy because that is so not like me. And you guys all know that. I don't like to repeat any pattern. So 3rd one. So the original 2 mitts that I made 2 years ago was for the same person I'm doing commission work right now. So I figured it would be nice, poignant end to the knitting of her stuff if I repeated the one that she already has. And she says her sister sleeps in her pair every night since I gave them to them 2 years ago. So it's loved. So I made another one. Probably because she'll want another set, right? She's worn that one out. Well, what have you been working on?
I am working on my December project.
It's lab work.
For Oloops.
Yes.
I am working on the foolproof cowl.
Okay. Remember, the theme is head of house. So you could use your house colors or something to do with your lady friend.
Right. So my lady friend is Miss McGonagall. Head of house.
Yeah.
But because I ordered the prefect kit from Oloops and I had the Gryffindor, I automatically had the house colors. I figured it was as good a time to use it as any. So what we got were, if you guys remember from earlier, this is Brave at Heart set. And so Foolproof is a 2-color cowl, which I am working on right now. And I liked it because it's kind of those, she just kind of gives you the recipe.
It's brainless.
Recipe of how to make it so you can follow your own striping pattern and you can make it to whatever length you want and whatever width you want. She gives you suggestions like if you want a narrow one, then you can double up. You know, you're looking for maybe about this width and this length if you want a medium one.
So what width are you going for?
I'm going for somewhere between the medium and the large. So she said medium was about 8 inches and large was about 12. Well, the last cowl that I wear all the time, made from the Dean Thomas, is about 7.5 to 8 inches. So I wanted one that was a little wider than that, but I didn't want one that was a foot wide.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to make it somewhere between about 10 inches. You know, give or take whatever.
And this is about
that's
11
about 11.
inches,
and I tried it on, and it felt a little too big. So I'm thinking my 10 inches is about right where I want to be. And then
So how close are you?
I'm probably right now about a quarter of an inch away. And it's a cool construction because unlike it's not knit in the round. So right now it's knit. This is going to be on the bias, and so can't really hold it up. But it's not knit in the round. You end up connecting it all at the end when you're binding off, I believe.
So you do either a 3-needle bind off or a Kitchener,
right?
To put it together.
Yeah.
But you build like a shawl.
You're building a triangle shawl. Like right now, if I were to open this up, it looks like a triangle shawl.
Okay. And then you work flat for a while. So you only work on half those stitches that you've
Once you reach the width, so the width is the ridge of the triangle shawl, like the point. And then once you reach the width you want with that triangle point, then you're going to put half the stitches on hold and knit one way, and then half the stitches and knit the other way. So it's going to be like this, and then it's going to be in bias the rest of the way. And then they meet up nicely. And then once you're done, I'll probably Kitchener because I don't mind Kitchenering. And I've only made one modification because it's really hard to make modification. This is garter stitch. It's just knit, 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 knit. In the original pattern, when you're adding stitches along the ridge, it asks for a yarn over. But I don't like the way yarn over looks in garter stitch. So I'm doing make one right, make one left.
Oh, okay. Really?
And I'm liking the way that looks as opposed to having a bigger hole right down the middle.
Now Liz will tell you that she should have put some lifelines in.
I should have. But
she's taken it back a couple times.
No, I've only taken it back once.
No, you took it back
I took it back at the very beginning, yes.
Yeah. and then recently.
But I never know where I'm gonna mess up. So lifelines to me,
And most people will say, "Oh, you're missing a couple stitches. Just add one now."
Yeah,
Liz won't.
Liz won't. So I had to take out about 15 rows.
Okay, total so far.
Total.
Yeah.
So that was probably...
It slowed her down a little bit.
So yeah, but you know what? I had time. It's still early in the month. Had it been at the end of the month, I probably just would have added the stitches. But...
You'd be like, just call it good.
Yeah, but because it was early in the month, and
She
the
had
nice thing is I'm not making a super long cowl, so pretty much by the time I get to the width I want,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be really close to the length I want too for the half of
That's
the...
true.
So I'll probably, it's not that bad.
So I think this is about 26. All the way around.
Yeah,
so
but
she'll be at 22 when she finishes.
Yeah, I'll be at about 20, and then just have to knit 3 to 4 inches, depending if I want it a little longer, like 28. So it'll be fine on either end. So I'll be good.
Awesome. Is that the only thing you're working on?
This is the only thing I'm working on.
Okay. And she's going for Seeker.
I'm going for Seeker. Once this is done, then I can go back to. I don't think you guys have seen where to go.
Because I think you worked on your shawl.
I worked on my shawl a little bit before I started.
Recognize that bag.
Yes, my Star Wars Ferrari bag from Penguin Soup.
Yeah, her Star Wars club.
To go with my Star Wars theme. See, you know what I'm
getting it?
Getting it? Do I like something? I like Star Wars.
Oh, you stuffed that shawl in there.
I did. Well, I was being put on hold, so I was like, it didn't matter. So I
Are you at the end of the row?
I finished clue.
Ooh, I want to hold this end.
I finished clue 3. Yeah, the medium
Oh,
large.
you have the little high holder.
I do have the little high.
Little panda.
I needed. It's using 5, which I needed for this too.
Oh, she's borrowing needles, guys.
Yep. So there we go.
Okay. Oh my gosh, Liz, you got so far.
I did.
Did you finish your 5th color? You were starting your 5th. I think.
I'm still at my 5th color.
Okay.
So there's not much left of my 5th color.
Is that the one you borrowed from somebody?
Yeah, that's the one I borrowed from Annetta and them, who so lovely sent us mini skeins, and it just happened to match perfectly in this color, which I needed.
It did.
So
you only have one
more clue, 2 more clues left,
and 2 more colors.
Yeah, 3 more colors.
Oh, good.
3 more browns.
This is so exciting.
So because I just finished clue 3, so there's 4 and 5, I believe.
This is Part of Your World by Lily Go.
Yes.
This was a mystery cowl, but it's available now. It's a beautiful shawl. She's making the medium.
Yes.
And this is Volcano Sunrise.
Yeah.
By Chromatique or something.
Yes, with an extra added color because I didn't have enough yardage.
From like a Sherlock.
Yes.
Mode knit.
Yes, from Mode Knit Sherlock. So.
Awesome. This is beautiful.
It's turning out really nice. Yeah. I'm excited. So hopefully once I finish this, I will go back to finish this. Because as we've decided, next year is sweater year.
It sure is.
And so
all the yardage leaving our house.
I need to get as much stuff off the needles as possible.
Yes. Yeah, so we can start fresh.
Yeah, so we can start fresh.
I'm so excited for next year's knitting.
And then before I forget, I didn't bring it, but I need to thank Annette. Annette sent my daughter a bunny.
I heard about this.
And I've been meaning to take a picture of Minion number 1 with the bunny.
Oh my goodness.
And I will.
Does she love it?
She loves it.
Does she sleep with it?
She sleeps with it.
Such a good idea, Nutty 1020.
I have not been able to make the tail for it yet because my daughter won't let it go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Annette apparently has a thing against pom-poms and doesn't want to make tail. So she sent me yarn to make a tail for the bunny. So you can
use your new thing she's getting for Christmas.
Yes.
A bee just flew out at me, and I'm a little concerned where that came from.
Is it my bead or your bead?
No, it's my bead.
Okay. So I am thinking it'll be a good project for me to do with my daughter to make her a little pom-pom for her bunny tail to attach it. So I think we're going to do that.
That's brilliant.
So we're going to do that. Maybe, I don't know if we'll use the loom thing or I have pom-pom maker. It just might be easier to use the pom-pom maker and Harper will.
It's a tiny tail.
Harper will
enjoy. So was it Bon Bon?
Huh?
From Susan Claudino?
I don't know what pattern it was.
Because I know that one has a tail. Does it have big floppy ears and big
it's only
feet?
that size. It's like...
Well, for its size. Is it like huge floppy ears? I'll have to see it.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture?
No, that's what I said. I haven't taken a picture.
I could totally identify it. Or we go to Nettie's
probably
Ravelry queue right now.
But yes, I will take a picture so we can post it.
Yes.
I'll send it to you later so you can.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna need your help, so don't pick that up yet.
Okay, what do you...
Can you pull down the bottom so they can kind of see what we're working with here? So this is my Boo Knits. I put a little marker in from the last time we were here.
You wanted to knit. Yeah, you've been wanting to try her patterns and wasn't sure if you like beaded work. That's beautiful.
Isn't that pretty? I think I was a little tight at the beginning, Annetta. I'm hoping that steams out. But we're at the end of Clue B. Oh my goodness.
I love the colorway.
Isn't this gorgeous? So this is Logwood by Madeline Tosh Merino Light. This is a fingering weight. It calls for lace. So, of course, I'm doing whatever I want.
Yeah.
Annetta is knitting this with me. And she is doing it on Miss Babs' lace weight. And I'm doing it on fingering weight, Madeline Tosh. And we got to pick each other's beads. I'm going with a single color. I don't know if you can see it. It's charcoal that's lined with silver. So they have a good glint to them. So far together, we've done 3 A's and a B. The next section we're doing differently. So I'm going to do 2 C's. She's going to do 3 C's, maybe. We have a lot of stitches here. Like, I don't even want to count. I'm on a 40-inch needle, and we're full. We're full up. So we'll see. Because we want to be done by December. I know I want to be done by December. Maybe. I hope that doesn't rush.
You mean the end of December, because it is December.
Yeah, I want to be done at the end of December. Because I want this still to count for our Harry Potter. Because I started this in October. No. November. November 1st, I think
So Slug Club.
It'll be Slug Club because it's for Annetta.
Yeah.
And she's knitting for me. So it'll be good. I'll get 10 points for my enormous shawl. I think I've placed... Oh, no, I don't know how many beads I've placed, but I'm placing 1,000 beads on here. So I think I have a lot to come. There's a section, the last section for bind off is going to require crochet. Now this is something I've never even thought about on Ravelry. So you can pick knitting or crochet, and I think there's another option too for what your pattern is. Well, you can only have one option. And I'm like, but I'm going to write into them because this is going to require a hook. 1, it requires a hook because it's placing beads. And 2, it requires a hook because there's crochet in it. So I'm wondering if they can do some kind of update so that you can pick your tools. Because I picked my knitting tools and then I changed it to crochet so I could pick my hooks. It changed all my knitting tools to hooks. So I thought that was interesting. So it's a bug that, I mean, it's not a bug. It just probably
maybe
isn't
something
built
they hadn't thought. Yeah, it's not built in.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask them what they would think about adding another option so that you could put all your tools in there. So for right now, I'm just going to list my hooks at the beginning of my notes. Because I didn't know it was going to require a hook, right? So I'm left-handed when I crochet, and I knit like everybody else does. I don't knit left-handed. But you have to hold your hook. I'm going to have to hold my hook this way when I add to my knitting. Right? It's probably not something you thought about, huh? Well, both Annetta and I are left-handed. So I was like, oh crap, Annetta, have you looked at what we're supposed to do for the end of this? And she's like, no, la la la. I was like, don't look. She's like, oh, no, what? Tell me. So I was like, there's required chain. It's just chaining, so that's good. Mm-hmm. But you guys hold this way. So when you're knitting, you're gonna go in that direction.
I crochet, yeah, like I crochet and knit in the same direction.
Yeah, so you're gonna knit. Your yarn's gonna be here. I know I'm facing the wrong way, right? But you can knit in the same direction that your yarn is hanging.
Yeah.
Right? Well, when I crochet, I'm going this way. I'm upside down, right? So I'm gonna have to hold my hook.
Yeah.
Like they taught us, like idiots in kindergarten, that you have to turn your page completely upside down so that you can push while you're writing. Did you guys know this? That if you're left-handed, you're told that you have to write upside down? Yeah, no, I don't do that either.
Couldn't you just
You can't tell me what to do.
Couldn't you just turn the work?
So I could turn my work upside down, right? But I'm going to have to chain like 15, put a bead, chain some more, put a bead, and then knit, right? So for myself, I'm going to knit up rather than stop the knitting, turn the work, crochet some, place a bead, crochet some, turn my work, get back to the knitting, to crochet again. Because I think you're only doing like a picot of knit, right? So then I'm thinking, well, maybe I can just do everything with a crochet hook on the ending. So I'm thinking about that too. Then I think I have to do it upside down. So I'd have to go the other direction.
I'm cracking up.
Right? So I'm overthinking it.
Yes, you are.
I know.
You know what? Wait till you get there and see how it goes. It may not.
Well, I want to prepare myself for the slowing down bit. Because what if I only have 2 days to do this? Because I have 3 more charts to do, guys. Of tons of stitches and still increasing as we go. So I'm thinking ahead for my bind off. It might be all crochet because you know what? A picot for a crochet is so much easier than knitting.
It is. Picot crochet.
So much faster. So I might just bind off the knitting and then do an attached crochet edge. I don't know. Tell me if I'm being ridiculous. Feel free. Doesn't mean I'm going to change my mind. And I like to make things harder, right? Sounds like me. So, speaking of knitting from your library, I'm knitting from my book.
The fact that you have a wizarding book, a knitting book, cracks me up.
I wanted it for the owl sweater. You guys all know the Ginny cardigan, right?
Yeah, the Ginny cardigan.
That's what I bought it for. The Ginny cardigan. It has owls all the way down. Have I made that one?
No.
But I have a rule. If I like 3 things in a book, I'm allowed to buy it. So I liked the Ginny cardigan. I liked this vest. And I think I liked some socks. I almost did some socks. So last you saw me, I was at the ribbing. This was 2 days of work.
Nice. I
had 2 days at the end of November to get some stuff done. Isn't that cable gorgeous?
Yeah, it's
oh my
awesome.
Gosh. Let me give you a close-up look at that.
Yes. Very, very
so,
pretty.
This is interesting knitting, even though we're making a blanket, guys. Do you see it?
It is a blanket.
There's no increases, no decreases, as far as tapering for stuff, right? You do cables, and then you change to this open cable, or open lace bobble there, and then it goes back to cable. So every 8 lines, you're switching things up. So it's really fun. Really fun. I really enjoy the knitting. I may be now allergic to cashmere too, because every time I sit with it, I have a sneezing fit and I'm stuffed up for 2 days. So cashmere from bunnies might have added to my list, which sucks. But I feel like it's never going to be touching my skin because I'm making the Luna vest by Emma Welford. Let me see if I can show you a picture of it. We've seen it before on here because I've worked on it before. But I'm trying not to show you the secret sauce in the book. So I'm making that vest. Should never touch my skin. And so maybe after I wash it a couple times, the flyaway bits that's in cashmere and alpaca and all those other kind of halo-y kind of things will tame down, and maybe I won't sneeze when I'm wearing it. I'm going to try. If not, it'll become a present. So that's my detention project that I cast on in October. And I've worked on it a couple days in October and a couple days in November. And then shortly, I'm going to have to just finish it. I'm about 10 inches into the knitting, and I need to be at 14 to start doing the vest part, the fronts and the backs. But it's just straps at that point, so it should go really quick.
And a yoke.
Yeah, it should be pretty quick. So I'm excited about that. The finishings are probably going to be a button band. And I think you pick up and do some ribbing for the opening of your sleeve. That you don't have a sleeve, it's vest. So
cool.
It should be quick. I think that's all my works in progress.
That's all I've very focused right now. So hopefully by next episode, maybe I'll have this done.
Okay.
We'll see.
You got some stuff in the mail.
I did get some stuff in the mail. So
she told you last time that she was a big winner chicken dinner on Desert Vista Dye Works.
Yep, with my Edward Scissorhands submission for favorite movie, just customer favorites or people favorites. Yeah. So I got my yarn, and it's so pretty.
It's beautiful. Look at that green, guys.
And the pinky and
you
the
know
red.
That's a great Christmas.
It is a great Christmas colorway, even though without being too Christmassy.
Yeah, and it's available. It's available right now.
It's available right now. Yep.
So if you guys are interested in that colorway, she just got it in the mail, and she loves it.
Yes.
There's like a red in there.
I'm very
excited. Is there a speckle? I feel like
there is a speckle in the gray,
or like a variegation. You can kind of see it. There's some gray and white.
Yeah, in the gray and white, there's speckle in it.
And then there's a solid black stripe, a red stripe, and a green stripe. Really, really pretty.
Yep. So that's what I got in the mail.
Okay. Well, I'm just now realizing what my plan was 2 weeks ago when this came in the mail, that I was gonna wear the shawl that won something in somebody else's knit along. So Annetta and I like to knit things together, right? Well, we did the Stuck in It Zombies zombie friendship cal. I think that ended at the end of October.
End of October, yeah.
Right? Well, our shawl got picked as one of the winners.
Yay!
And I got the prize in the mail. We got sock blanks. This is my first ever sock blank. I'm so excited. I'm going to keep this one, which is probably pretty obvious. I mean, look at that. I think it's called Melted Crayons. Isn't that pretty? It's got some fuchsia in there. Yeah, I know, guys. I know that's a shade of pink, but I'm hoping this is just going to be splashes of speckle, right? That's what these things do. They speckle. Well, this one's a gradient that I'm sending to Annetta because she was my partner, and the shawl that we knit together won. So, and it's centered. So see, that's in half.
Aleesha entered this contest a lot. It was pretty cool. Because we had an entry.
Yeah, I recruited hard.
Yeah, she did.
I think I knit one by myself because I knit from Megan's book.
Right.
And so she was my friend who wrote a book. So I linked the hat and friendship to that. And then the shawl with Annetta. And then we did Tin Can Knits along together. So I did a hat and she did a sweater. I showed up a lot in that thread. I think
Megan even commented on it, right?
She did. Well, I kept searching over and over to see if they were going to say you can only have one entry, and they didn't. So I was like, well, then I'm throwing in all the entries. I got plenty of friends that knit and want to knit with me. So, yes, that was such a fun knit along. And I love that, it turned a lot of the knits that I was already going to do into something I could do with a friend or for a friend, with a friend. It was super good.
It's fun. Yeah,
that's right up our alley.
Yeah.
Because we love knit-alongs.
We love knit-alongs that enable the knitting that we already want to do. We're not good on the...
I'm really not good at casting on all the things, just so that it would qualify for something.
Exactly.
So much fun. I'm loving the... We've done 8 knit-alongs this year in our group. Mm-hmm. It has been a great year of knitting with all of you, with Liz and I. This podcast was new this year, so we have a lot of things to be grateful for our knitting and with our knitting. You've met your goal of 1 project a month.
Right, yes. Yay, me!
Can you believe that? How close have you gotten in the past? Because you've had this goal for 3 years.
I've had this goal for 3 years, and every year I think I cop out at about 8. Mm-hmm. Trusted, I did have kids in those years, so
it's true.
That's probably why I didn't make it.
There was some gestation period and some labor period and some first month of breastfeeding period.
Yeah,
that totally irritated this whole goal system.
So yes, I finally made it. So
she's on her 12th one right now.
Check that off the bucket list.
For 1 a month, but you've done a couple a month.
Yeah, no, I'm over.
You're over 12 for this year.
I'm over 12 for this year.
That's so exciting. So we're gonna talk more about that in our next one.
Yes, about next year.
Hopefully, have some pictures of all our FOs that we still have, because you give away a lot of.
I give away a lot of FOs.
But if you have any of your FOs, let's group them together and get some pictures. Hey, Speaking of knit-alongs.
Yes, we have.
Your knit-along finished.
Yes, our knit-along finished, and this is the first time we've gotten together since it finished.
It's true.
So, decided in the craziness that is my life right now, I could not go stash diving to fill out prizes. Okay. So I am just going to give out patterns.
Okay.
So I figure we could do, I would happily random number generator and
how many would you like to give away?
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's give away three patterns.
Hold on. Nope. 798.
798.
So we had 798 entries. So we have knit over 3,000 yards because there was some leftovers.
Yeah, there were some leftovers.
A couple leftovers here and there with the participants. So
364.
364. And that is Penny J.
750.
Is Allison.
And then 571.
571. Penny J. All right, so we have patterns going your way, which means you need to contact Liz.
Contact me at Lizzie215. Penny, you get to pick 2 patterns. Allison, pick 1, and I will give them to you.
And maybe they'll be themed for our next year's knit-along, which is
sweater.
This year is tops. So we're going to do all sweaters or t-shirts or
vests, anything.
Any garment
do
that
poncho,
you wear.
swanchos. Yep. Swanchos are the new thing.
Do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
So maybe that'll go to our cowl for next year. Maybe it'll help you with some more holiday knitting because we're still in the holidays, guys. Maybe you haven't picked your pattern for your knitmas.
Yes, knitmas.
I'm back to the picking the colors, guys. Very depressed about it. So I still need to cast on. I'm excited to do it, but I'm not excited about the colors yet. And so I can't get excited about the project until those colors are picked.
Yeah, you need.
And you're going to cast on after this is done.
I am casting on after this is done, yes.
So maybe we'll have this little knit along. I'm going to show mine on the podcast and in the threads because, yeah, somebody should be seeing something. And maybe my partner doesn't check out the threads as much. Maybe I can get away with it still being a surprise. I don't know. Maybe. So thank you for sitting and knitting with us.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed some hot tea. Hopefully it's cold where you are.
Something.
Because that's how winter's supposed to be. Cold! So excited. Beautiful day here in Seattle. Thank you for joining us. And until we knit again.
Yes. See you next time.
Take care. Bye.